everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be reviewing the new Morphe Cherry Coke palette. I saw this at Ulta and I was like, interesting. I want to try it out. And as I was getting ready today, I forgot I purchased this little cherry top from Rue 21 and I was like, oh, perfect. So if you guys want to see what I think about the new Morphe palette, then please keep watching. So honestly, I haven't used a Morphe palette in the longest time. My favorite Morphe palette is the Jaclyn Hill, the original palette with her. And then I actually lost that palette. I have no idea where it is. I lost, like literally lost it. I think I left it somewhere on vacation because I can't find it. And ever since then, I want to say that's almost 2 years ago, I haven't used any Morphe palettes. So let's go right ahead. I'm opening this up. I just thought it was really cute packaging, and I wonder if they're actually really collaborating with Coca-Cola, or, you know, like, is Coca-Cola getting paid for this? You know what I mean? Interesting. So this is what the outside of the palette looks like. When you open it up, it is just so beautiful. I feel like the colors are perfect for fall. I normally stay around these colors for fall. I'm not really that too big into like the oranges. I normally stay kind of towards the darker mauves and burgundy colors like that. It is really, really cute, and this is the outside of the packaging. So this palette was $24, so I feel like that is really affordable compared to super high-end products. But let's just go ahead and dig right in. I'm first going to start off with a little concealer on my eyelid. This white shade in the palette, I'm going to use it to set the eyelid. I'm going to start off with this shade right here, and I'm going to apply this in my crease. Let's see how it blends. There is a little bit of kickback, but nothing crazy. So it is blending really nice. It's really pigmented. Normally when I do eyeshadow reviews, I feel like I could always tell if I'm going to like the palette just by the first shade, just because normally that transition shade, if it's a bad palette, it just doesn't show up on the skin at all. It won't show up in your eyes. It won't show up in your crease. It just won't be there. It won't be visible. And that's normally how I can tell if I'm not going to really like a palette, because of the pigmentation. But so far, so good. It is blending really nicely. Next, I'm going to pick up this shade right here all the way at the top. This neutral shade. I'm also going to apply that right in the crease. Again, there is some kickback, but nothing crazy. It's very normal kickback. So far, these two shades are blending very nicely. It's pigmented. I see the shades. It's blending together very smooth. It's not coming out muddy. But I also like to say is how you prep your eyelid is super important. A lot of people won't do any type of preparation and will just sometimes apply eyeshadow, and then they wonder if it's why it's like a little muddy. You know, we all have natural oils, and sometimes if you were to just apply your eyeshadow right on your eyelids could be kind of oily and it's not really going to blend that nicely. So you really want to make sure you prime them, you set them so that you have a nice base. So I really want to use a lot of the shades. So I'm first going to pick up the shade right here, and I'm going to apply it in the beginning of my eyelid. Let's see how it applies. Let's see if there's pigment. Okay, we got pigment. That's all I'm going to apply it right there. Next, I am then going to pick up this shade right here. I wish there was names for them. And this is gonna go in the center of my eyelid. Ooh, that's a really, really pretty burgundy shade. So I am getting some sparkle fallouts here. I will say it is pretty pigmented, but I feel like it's not really that glittery like it is in the palette. Let's see if I could just pack it on instead of wiping it. Alright, we're getting some of that glitter in here. But I will say that first shade is kind of disappearing as I'm applying the second shade. So I'm going to go back in with that first shade one more time. I'm really digging into these shadows, and I'm going to go back in there. Okay, let's bring that back. And it's definitely there. I have a lot of fallout right now, but I'm really digging into the palette, that's why. Okay, and then I'm going to take this top shade right here, and I'm going to apply that on the outer part of my eye. And honestly, everything really is going on very nicely. It's very pigmented. I did not have to use any Fix Plus to bring out the pigmentation. I will just say that I feel like I do have to go in with a pretty heavy hand with the shadows to really get that pigmentation. So I am having a little bit of fallout, but it is fine. Then I am going to take this dark shade right here. I'm going to apply this in my outer V. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of a smoky eye. Sometimes what I like to do is you could take anything with a flat edge, like that. Pick up that dark shade and go right in there. I'm going to pick up more of that dark maroon shade and buff it in to the V. And then also I'm going to go into the crease with it as well. Just because I want the line to be a little bit sharper up here. I will say I really, really like this shade. It is so pigmented, very smooth and easy to blend. And those are my favorite type of shadows, to be honest, when they're super easy to blend. Like all the Anastasia palettes are so good because like the Mono Renaissance, for example, the shadows blend so nice together. Some shadows that are like difficult to blend, like NYX, I feel like I have a lot of problems with NYX palettes. Like they just don't blend nicely together. These ones are just blending super, super smooth. And then I'm picking up that dark brown again. I'm putting it into the crease more. And then I'm going to go in with that first lid shade that we use. I mean that first crease shade, just to go back over up here so that it looks nice and smooth. I will say as I'm blending, all the lid shades are kind of just meshed together. You can't really see the difference in the colors, which is okay since I did use a lot of shades after. But I'm just going to go ahead with the middle shade and just go right back in there. And then I'm going to pick up this shade and I'm going to apply it in the inner corner, right in here, to really pop it out. There really isn't a shade here that I would use to highlight my brow bone, so I normally would just use my highlighter. If I were to use one, it would probably be this one right here, but it's a little bit just kind of just a flat color. I like a little bit of a I kind of like a little bit of a highlight on my brow bone. But yeah, so far so good. It blended really nicely. It's very pigmented. I really love the eye look I came up with. I'm gonna go ahead, finish my face, do my foundation, things like that, and I will come back when I do my lower lash line. So yeah. Hey guys, so I'm hopping back on here. Let's do the lower lash line. I'm first going to pick up this dark maroon shade right here, and I'm going to apply that to the closest part of my lash line. And I'm actually gonna like tap it on rather than wipe it. One, to really make sure it's super pigmented, and also I want to avoid some fallout because I just did my foundation. So I am doing it very, very lightly and tapping it on the lower lash line. I'm going to pick up this shade right here and apply it. This shade, where is it? This shade right here, and apply it right underneath that first shade. Next, I'm going to take a flat brush, and I'm going to take this really sparkly shade, and I'm going to apply that in the inner part of my lower lash line. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my face, mascara, lips, all that good stuff, and I'll be right back and we can chat about my final thoughts. Hello, welcome back. So let's get into my final thoughts on the new Coca-Cola Morphe Cherry Coke palette. I am obsessed with my eye makeup. It looks so good. I'm so glad I went with the burgundy colors to really match like the palette. Let's talk about the eyeshadows itself. So I feel like I tried a good amount of eyeshadows to really fairly like give a good review. I feel like I tried a lot of the shadows, and honestly the shadows are really nice. They are super pigmented, super blendable. I love how they all just blend together really nicely. Nothing looked muddy. There was not one shadow that I used where I was struggling, where I feel like it was kind of sticking, or it was kind of just not blending out really nicely or looking chalky. This is a very high pigment palette in my opinion. I think it applied so effortlessly, so beautifully, and it just looked really nice. The shimmer shades are super pigmented. I feel like I was having a little trouble in the beginning, but I feel like these shimmer shades work best when you pack it on, don't really wipe it, because when I was wiping it, it went on super pigmented, but then I feel like it kind of faded as I was playing with other shadows. But then I went back in it and packed it on, and I did not have any issues at all as I was blending in the crease, nothing like that. So I feel like these shimmer shades work best when you are packing it on rather than wiping it, which is very common with shimmer shades, but with a review I like to try both ways just to see how it performs, because you know I like playing with it. All the crease shades that I used went on so beautifully. Like I can't even explain how obsessed I am with my eye makeup. It just looks so beautiful, so effortlessly, and it's super easy. Like it is so easy. It is a beginner friendly palette to play around with. It is nothing that is too crazy or too intense. You can definitely create a lot of looks with this palette. They have a whole bunch of crease shades. They have a whole bunch of lid shades. They have a whole bunch of, you know, darkening shades. And yeah, I really like this palette, and you'll definitely see me playing around with this a lot more. So that is my final thoughts on the new Morphe Cherry Coke palette. I really hope you guys enjoyed this review. I enjoyed filming it. I am obsessed with my makeup. I think I'm gonna go walk around Target maybe and see some of the fall stuff. I have to do something today because my makeup just looks so good. I reviewed so many products, and there's no way I could just wipe this off. I need to go somewhere. I'm gonna make my boyfriend take me out somewhere. Well, we can't really go out to dinner because we're dieting, but I need to make him take me somewhere. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to turn on post notifications. That way you guys get notified every time I post, and I'll see you guys in my next video.
Time for a love potion, a little sweet and spice. Throw it all in a cauldron. Mix